In the pre-dawn hours of June 13, 2025, the world watched as tensions between Israel and Iran erupted into open war. The conflict, which would rage for 12 intense days, was sparked by a sudden and forceful Israeli assault on Iranian military and nuclear sites. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a series of high-profile statements, declared that Israel's objectives were nothing short of transformative: to end the rule of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and to destroy Iran's nuclear capabilities once and for all. Yet as the dust settles and both nations reckon with the aftermath, a sober assessment emerges. Despite the ferocity and precision of Israel's initial strikes, the war's outcome fell well short of Israel's sweeping ambitions. The Israeli campaign, designed to cripple Iran's nuclear infrastructure and shatter the authority of its leadership, instead revealed the resilience of the Iranian state and society, and the limitations of military power in the face of determined opposition. From the outset, Israel's approach was bold and uncompromising. Warplanes and missiles targeted Iran's most sensitive facilities, Natanz, Fordow, and the Isfahan Nuclear Technology Center. These sites, long at the heart of international concern over Iran's nuclear ambitions, were struck with the aim of rendering them inoperable. The United States, though initially hesitant, joined the campaign days later, delivering its own strikes against Iranian nuclear and military targets. While these attacks inflicted significant damage, most notably the destruction of the metal conversion facility at Isfahan, they stopped short of annihilating Iran's nuclear program. Key components, including enriched uranium stockpiles and advanced centrifuge parts, remained unaccounted for. More crucially, the scientific expertise and technical knowledge that underpin Iran's nuclear efforts were left largely intact. Intelligence assessments concluded that, while Iran's progress was delayed by years, the program was far from eliminated. Meanwhile, Iran's response was swift and formidable. Far from collapsing under pressure, Iranian forces launched over 550 ballistic missiles and more than 1,000 explosive drones at Israeli cities and military installations. Coastal hubs like Tel Aviv and Haifa came under direct attack, their skies lit with the streaks of incoming projectiles and the thunder of air defense systems. Israel's Iron Dome and other anti-missile technologies intercepted the vast majority of these threats, but not all. Dozens of missiles and drones found their mark, causing significant damage and a tragic loss of civilian life. Iran's retaliation was not limited to Israel alone. In a dramatic show of force, Iranian missiles targeted the U.S. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, underscoring Tehran's willingness to expand the conflict regionally if necessary. This move, while not escalating into a broader war, sent a clear message: Iran would not be cowed, and its reach extended far beyond its own borders. Inside Iran, the attacks catalyzed a powerful surge of nationalism. Rather than fracturing the regime or igniting widespread unrest, as some in Israel may have hoped, the bombardment rallied Iranians around their leaders. The image of Ayatollah Khamenei, appearing in public after weeks of war, became a symbol of defiance and endurance. The notion that Iran would crumble under foreign assault, a narrative long perpetuated by some of its adversaries, was decisively dispelled. On the other side, Israel's vulnerabilities were laid bare. Despite advanced military technology and intelligence, the country was not impervious to sustained missile attacks. The psychological impact of sirens, shelters, and the destruction wrought by those few missiles that broke through the defenses was profound. The war, intended to demonstrate Israeli strength, instead exposed its own limitations and the dangers inherent in escalating regional conflict. The broader Middle East watched these developments with a mixture of anxiety and pragmatism. Major Arab Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain, publicly condemned the escalation. Their opposition was rooted not only in fears of wider instability, but also in a recognition that further conflict would serve no one's interests. The region, already beset by multiple crises, was in no mood for a conflagration that could spiral out of control. Diplomatically, Iran emerged from the conflict with its regional and international standing arguably enhanced. By withstanding the combined pressure of Israel and the United States, And by demonstrating its ability to retaliate effectively, Iran projected an image of strength and resilience. Some analysts even suggested that Tehran's actions would bolster its diplomatic leverage in future negotiations, both on its nuclear program and on broader security issues. Yet for all the drama and devastation, the war left the central issue unresolved. Iran's nuclear ambitions, the very catalyst for the conflict, remain a source of global anxiety. While the physical infrastructure suffered significant setbacks, the underlying capabilities persist. The ceasefire, brokered after nearly 2 weeks of bloodshed, brought a temporary halt to hostilities, but did little to address the fundamental tensions that divide Israel and Iran. In the aftermath, questions swirl about the wisdom and efficacy of Israel's strategy. The campaign failed to achieve its most ambitious objectives. The Iranian leadership remains in power. The nuclear program, though delayed, is not destroyed. The myth that military might alone can dictate political outcomes in the complex landscape of the Middle East has, once again, been challenged. At the same time, the human cost of the conflict weighs heavily on both societies. In Israel, the shock of sustained missile attacks and the loss of civilian lives have left deep scars. In Iran, the destruction of key infrastructure and the deaths of non-combatants have fueled anger and grief. The war has reminded the world that, in the end, it is ordinary people who bear the brunt of geopolitical rivalry. As the ceasefire takes hold, the path forward remains uncertain. The specter of renewed conflict looms large, particularly as nuclear tensions remain unresolved. Both nations have demonstrated their capacity for resilience and retaliation. Both have shown the capacity to inflict pain, but neither has found a path to lasting security. The 12-day war between Israel and Iran will be remembered not just for the ferocity of its battles, but for the hard truths it revealed. It exposed the limits of force, the tenacity of nationalism, and the enduring volatility of a region where grievances run deep and solutions remain elusive. In the war's uneasy aftermath, the world is left to ponder what comes next, and whether peace, however fragile, can ever truly take root amid such entrenched enmity.